My name is Farid Samour. I'm from the UK originally. My parents are Palestinian and Greek Cypriot. I'm married with three children, two boys in their 20s or nearing 20, and my little girl, who's my favorite at the moment. I studied in software engineering because I always liked building things and creating and seeing what I could achieve. And then I moved into different software engineering jobs across the financial sector. And I'm now in Australia working at the Australian Securities Exchange, looking after all of their markets technology, so everything trading and clearing. So it's quite a big thing because it's actually critical infrastructure to Australia and supports many of the financial institutions that trade through that exchange. So my job is it's quite a senior position, and the responsibility I have is quite broad. And so that means, to give you a sense of how much responsibility I have, if any one of my platforms goes down at the exchange, it's in the papers. The regulators will be, doing what they're required to do, which is inspect and see what had failed, and that will require a lot of engagement from myself and my teams. The financial sector is always quite stressful. You work long hours. The amount of responsibility that's on you is quite severe. You've got billions of dollars flowing through your systems and so forth, so there's a huge amount of responsibility there. And so to unwind from all of that, given that I always go back to my roots, which was building things. So I started off in software engineering. Even before then, I was tinkering around with electronics. I was programming on my own. I was building things in my shed. So I used to build lots of woodworking projects and then try and automate and build little robots and so forth. Since coming to Australia, I had an opportunity when we bought this house to say, okay, if I'm going to go on my hobby and really lose myself in my craft and what I'm passionate about, then I'm going to do it with this house. So the story behind this house is we had been here for about 7 years, and we were hunting around for houses, looking at what should we buy, and then we came upon this house by accident, and it was open. The estate agents were out the front, people wandering through this house, and I stopped. We looked at the house, and I looked downstairs, and there is this massive garage, like unbelievable garage. All the house is upstairs, all the rooms and so forth are upstairs. And so I was praying that first it fits within my budget, and secondly, my wife likes the upstairs. And she did like the upstairs, so I put an offer in. We managed to get it below asking, which I was surprised about, and I said, that's it, I'm going to buy all the tools I've ever wanted. So I bought everything. So I've got lathes, I've got metal lathes, wooden lathes, I wanted to get a table saw that was really highly powered to cut through the most densest wood. I bought bandsaws, sanders, all the German high-end. I admire the engineering of these tools sometimes, but on top of that, I then built most of the furniture in my house. So most of the furniture around the house is built by me. I build guitars as a hobby as well. I build, what else do I build? I'll build trinkets, bowls, egg-shaped things. I'll use resin in projects. I've built so I just enjoy all of that stuff, and so I've always got multiple projects on the go, and people have been asking me to do projects for them, and I've started to sell bits and pieces here and there, or just give them away to friends. So that's how I unwind, because when I'm in that moment, I call it in the flow. You just forget about the world, everything evaporates from your head, and you're just in the craft, and you're just perfecting the craft, really understanding, refining, making sure it's accurate. And you just get better and better, and you constantly learn and learn and learn. So that's why I do this. I think maybe just to give you a sense of how many people maybe know about my hobby, it was actually I didn't keep it secret, but I didn't really tell people about my hobby for quite some time. And then when I was working for a different organization to what I'm working for now, I was the chief technical officer there. It was during COVID. And so I had to present at quite senior levels, but I was having to do it from my room. And the company actually paid somebody to tell me how to organize my room to make it look like an interesting room without, and not, actually show that, there is something about this individual, because it was COVID. You didn't know who people were. It was a new job. People didn't know who I am. And so this person encouraged me to say, okay, go and get your guitars, hang them up behind you. Get your desk, or whatever it is, and put these trinkets and things around the room so people can see who you are. And so people started learning about these things. And after time, when I got back from COVID into the office, people were asking me, can you make me this? Can you show me that? And so I started making things for people. And even my old manager, who's now a good friend of mine, he's now retired, but I used to make some furniture for him, some bowls, or I'd fix up furniture where he had different tables and so forth. So, and we used to have fun that way, and then that turned into other hobbies together. But so that's what we've done. I use multiple varieties of wood. The wood that I like the most is walnut, mostly because of the color and the pattern side of it. It's dark brown. It's got nice highlights and hues and so forth, and I've used that in a lot of furniture, but it is super expensive. The other wood that I like, which is actually meant to be a cheapish wood in Australia, although it's been rising, is camphor laurel. And so I build a lot of furniture out of camphor laurel. The reason why I like camphor is it's got red streaks through the wood. You can actually get cross sections of trees and build river tables and so forth. So it's quite a beautiful wood. Then I've also got Tassie oak, which has lots of holes in it. And it's just this patterned, amazing wood that I sometimes make bowls out of, or I'll make different types of smaller furniture because it's quite expensive and hard to get a hold of. And my other favorite piece of wood is called black sassafras. It's like a plane, it looks like oak, but it's got deep streaks like fire of brown through it. And that's actually an infection in the tree, but it makes the wood look amazing. So that's why I like those woods. As a kid, when I was doing this stuff in my shed, I learned how to sand. Even though that sounds simple, sanding, varnishing, then you need to resand it, and then you polish, and that's how you get. But that was a lot of trial and error, lots of scratchy things at the start, and eventually you get better. And sometimes, even if you watch YouTube or you look at these things, you still need to you need to feel things. Wood is about a feeling as well, so you lose yourself in that feeling, understanding where is this join going to work, is the wood going to move on you, and you're feeling for where the wood grain is and so forth, and how wood is meeting each other. I think YouTube helps more around tools, although you'll try and do is save money at the start, then you'll spend a lot more money trying to get the right tool, and then in the end you'll just go, sod it, I need to get the expensive tool. That's the thing that works, and so you always end up spending too much along the way. Which is a different type of trial and error. YouTube only helps when it comes to product recommendations. So really, if you're looking at varnishes and so forth, that's great. Sometimes you can get ideas around joinery, but it's something you have to practice. It's like trying to ride a bike. You can't watch a YouTube clip and know how to ride a bike. You have to actually ride the bike. So it gives you only a sense of things, or it tells you what is possible, and then you've got to work hard to actually achieve what is possible. Yeah. So usually what happens is I'll either have some inspiration from something I've seen, or I'll just come up with my own design, and then I'll start sourcing wood. So then I'll go to the relevant vendors, and there's specialist shops. You go out pretty much into the country to be able to find these places with the wood. They'll cut it, but it's a rough cut. Then you've got to bring it home, and so that's where I've got this thickness of planer. So I'll plane it, and they call it dressing the wood, and you get the planks exactly the shape and size that you want, and the thickness, because you're always looking for everything to be uniform in terms of thickness. Then you'll start putting it together and sawing it and joining it and creating the shapes and so forth. Aside from wood, I use other materials. One of my primary materials is resin. So I'll use resin to fill spots, or sometimes I'll experiment with resin to produce different types of river designs. But I don't like to be traditional where you get a simple tabletop and then you put a river design and that's the end. I try and make it flow all the way around. So I try and build complex shapes and have the resin flow naturally with the grain of the wood all the way around. So it looks like continuous. So that's what I'll typically use resin for, and then I'll put different dyes and powders inside of it to make it fluoresce or to spin different patterns and so forth, so that you can see. It just gives a different artistic view of things. It just makes it interesting. This hobby is for me. So I do this hobby because I enjoy it. It takes me away from work. It's a useful hobby. It's not a wasteful hobby. Like the skills you can use in the house. So most of the repairs I do myself. But this is my hobby. This is really for me to relax. I don't care what 10 years, whatever, and I'm not into it. This is mine. I guess my advice to anyone who's starting a new hobby, make sure you enjoy it. So if you don't enjoy it, you're going to spend a lot of money. You might enjoy it a little bit at the start, but make sure it's right for you, because it's an investment. And not only of money, but it's also your time. And so you really want to be sure that you're going to invest this time to learn all these new skills. But once you do, just go hard, man. Enjoy it. It's the best.